Welcome back to another amazing lesson in Advanced Excel. Today I'd like to give you a sneak preview of what's to come in the next lesson concerning combo charts. So wouldn't it be cool if you could immediately know which one is the highest without having to kind of squint your eyes and lean forward and say, oh, that one's a little bit bigger. So that's what we're going to do in this lesson. First, we're going to create a secondary axis for our employees sales chart. And then we're going to graph the highest employees sales data and make it look different. After that, we're going to divide our employees up by gender to see who did the best per month, the girls or the guys. So let's get started. Now, we've already covered a lot of these form controls, the combo box and the option buttons and those kind of things. But today we're going to be diving in a little bit deeper into the chart itself, about chart options and about different ways to make your chart stand out even more. So let's get started by, let's remove this conditional formatting. Let's go to manage rules. Let's go ahead and delete this one. Let's apply. Okay, there we go. Now wouldn't it be great to immediately know which one is the top one? Now, of course, in this month you can easily tell it's Oscar, but another month it might be a little bit closer. Michael Scott wants to quickly be able to tell which of his employees performed the best. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and add another column right here. There we go. And for this one, we're going to add basically another chart to this already existing chart. And we'll be getting into combo charts in the next lesson, but for this one, basically you can combine a chart to another chart, which is called a combo chart. Or you can make another series of data and put it on the secondary axis. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. But for right now, I want to see which one of these employees performed the best in this month. So without me telling you, try to think of a formula that you already know that can show us which employee did the best. That's right. We'll be using the max formula, but we'll also be using an if formula. Let's go equals if the cell to the left is equal to the max of this range right here. Let's go ahead and press F4 to go and lock those cells. So if B2 is the max in that range, then simply bring back B2. Otherwise, leave it blank. And close that and enter. Go ahead and double click this down. There we go. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this formatting because now it's expanded this range. Go to our conditional formatting, manage rules. So right now it's trying to apply this conditional formatting to both columns B and C. See B2 to C13. So I'm just going to change these. Both in column B. Let me just change these. There we go. All right. So now we have this range right here. You might say, now why did you want all these blank ones and just this maximum one? Because we're going to be charting this to here. And I want it to match. Now watch what you can do. Go ahead and double click on this. So right now you can see that these are kind of highlighted in this purple and this blue. Well, this blue is the data range itself. The purple is basically this down here, this axis. Let's go ahead and drag this over here. So now it's saying, oh, you want to graph all of this. So now it's graphing this as a clustered column chart. But I actually don't want this. I want this to actually replace this other one. So watch what I can do. I can select this orange one. Go over here. I'm going to place this on the secondary axis. So now it can be right on top of this other chart. Go ahead and reduce this gap width. 107, let's go over here. All right, so now instead of orange, let's actually make this green, just so you can quickly tell which one is the highest. Let's actually make this a little bit more distinct. Let's make this maybe kind of a light blue. There we go. So now you can quickly tell which employee has done the best. In fact, let's make this a dark blue and all the other ones a light blue instead. There we go, I like that better. So that's one way of making your data stand out even better. But now let's see if we can group our data down here, our employees, a little bit better. But maybe Michael Scott wants to do a competition, the guys versus girls, and who does better, maybe a party for the group that does the best. So let's see if we can do that. Let's insert another column right here. We're going to group it based on the women and the men. Probably down here some. Let's see. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to find the next lady. Select these. I'm going to press Shift, I'm going to click, and drag up. Let's go to Meredith. Shift, click, and go up. Next one would be Pam and Phyllis. Shift, click, and up. There we go. Let's go ahead and move men up. Perfect. You might think, why did you just do that? Well, now, when we select our data, we can actually add this purple section over here. Now, we can't just drag it. I kind of wish you could. But no, instead of doing that, we can go to Select Data. So this is the range right here. These are all the employees. We're going to edit this combo chart. So instead of B2, we're going to change that to A2. A2 right here, all the way down to B13 right here. So now it's saying this is what I want to see down here. Watch how it groups it. Press OK. Now, you'll see it's divided it, the women and the men. Now quickly you can tell the men did better in this month, or at least one person did. If we go to a different month, yep, look at that. And likewise for February. We can actually go ahead and get rid of this, the secondary axis. And let me be careful, because sometimes if you just delete this, sometimes it'll mess the data up. So instead of doing that, let's go to Labels. I'm just going to click None, because right now it's next to the axis. Let's go ahead and press None. And it gets rid of that. Let's also go ahead and delete these grid lines. There we go. Perfect. Now we have a pretty good looking chart of employee sales data. If you want, you can also add, and just double click to get these options over here. I can go and click on data labels. Now watch what happens. When I click on data labels, it has all these labels, and you see all these zeros. You see, what are these zeros? Well, that's all of this, because remember, it's also charting this. So right now, Pam is the one that's done the best. So it's highlighted here. So what it's done is it says, okay, plot 0, 0, 0, so 0, 0, 0. But then it says, oh, this is the maximum of this data right here. So bring back this number and go ahead and chart it. So you can see how it did it. It says, okay, on the 4th axis point, plot this one, just like it does with this one. But now I've formatted this one in the secondary axis, so it's basically overlapping it. So you basically have all of this data over here is basically behind all of this data. So that's the difference between the primary and the secondary axis. So the next lesson we'll be talking more about how you can put charts over other charts. So this is what it's doing in the background. It's one chart on top of another chart. So let me go ahead and delete these zeros. So now you can quickly tell which employee has done the best. So in the next lesson, we'll be talking more about combo charts and more of those options. This is just to get your feet wet concerning combo charts. Hope this has been interesting, and I'll see you again in the next lesson.